In this video, I'll show you how you can use the correct pitch macro for basic vocal tuning and pitch correction. But first, I want to show you how you can create a few custom shortcuts to speed up your Melodyne workflow. The first is to open up the correct pitch macro, so you don't have to keep coming in here and clicking on this button in order to open it up. The second is for horizontal zoom. You can horizontally zoom by adjusting the slider down here, and you can vertically zoom by adjusting the slider over here. Now, with vertical zoom, I tend to just keep it in one spot and not touch it, but with horizontal zoom, I find myself zooming in and zooming out quite a bit, so having a custom shortcut for this will really be helpful. So to do this, you'll go up to Settings, Preferences, and then from here, go down to Shortcuts. Then what you'll do is search up the command that you're trying to learn as a custom shortcut. So I'll just search up correct, and correct pitch shows up. I'll just click here, and I'll press C. So I'll use C as my custom shortcut for this. Then I'll just search up zoom. There's two options for zoom in and out horizontally. I'll go ahead and use the old Pro Tools shortcuts for this. I'll use T for zoom in horizontally and R for zoom out horizontally. Then I can just close out this dialog. I'll press C. It opens up my correct pitch macro, and T and R allow me to zoom in and zoom out. So what I'll do just to start here, for example, is I'll select a bunch of these notes. Press C to open up my correct pitch macro, and you'll see there's a few different options here. The first is pitch center. What pitch center does is it snaps the pitch of each of the notes to the nearest note on the pitch grid. So this is essentially what is applying the vocal tuning or the pitch correction. You can also adjust the pitch drift here. This is particularly helpful if you have notes where part of the note is in tune, but other parts of the note have drifted out of tune. You can also snap to the chord scale. What this does is it snaps all notes to the key or scale of the song based on Melodyne's key or scale detection. Now, when it comes to natural sounding, transparent vocal tuning, you do not want to tune everything to 100%. It'll be really obvious that that's what you've done. If you already have a good vocal performance, tuning it too much will make it sound worse. So what I like to do is go through and pick and choose certain notes that I feel need to have a bit of pitch correction on them. In particular, the long notes really need to stick. If a long note is sharp or flat, you'll really notice it. But with quicker notes, these have a bit more wiggle room. So first, let's listen to what the singer sounds like with no pitch correction whatsoever.
I wasn't the only one to hold your heart. Now I really wanna know. Tell me why you wasted so much of my time.
So what I'll do is just go through and select some of the notes I feel like need to be tightened up here. By the way, I'm holding Shift to isolate just those notes from the rest of the performance. I'll pull up my correct pitch macro and then pull up the pitch center slider. Now again, I don't want to do this 100% if I want a more transparent natural vocal tuning, so I'll set this to around 70. I'll pull up my pitch drift a bit as well. So let's give this a listen now with some gentle vocal tuning.
I wasn't the only one to hold your heart. Now I really wanna know. Tell me why you wasted so much of my time. I thought.
Now, you can also manually edit notes just by clicking and dragging with the main tool. These will snap to the pitch grid if you have your pitch grid options set to chromatic or key snap. We'll talk more about these in a later video, but one way to bypass the pitch grid snap is to hold Option. So you can make some manual fine-tuning adjustments this way. The only thing that's tricky is if you go back and you try to tune these with the correct pitch macro, you'll have to use this option right here that says Include Notes Edited Manually. So once you edit notes manually, they won't change if you adjust parameters in the correct pitch macro unless you select this option here. So let's tune these up as well.
I thought that I'd found everything. Now I realize we had nothing.
So off screen, I went through and I did some just real basic vocal tuning for this whole phrase. Again, just using the correct pitch macro, not doing any sort of surgical tuning, just real basic stuff. So here's what this whole phrase sounds like with no vocal tuning at all.
I wasn't the only one to hold your heart. from my cheek.
And here's what it sounds like with some very gentle vocal tuning, again, focusing mostly on the long notes.
I wasn't the only one to hold your heart. Now I really wanna know. Tell me why you wasted so much of my time. I thought that I'd found everything. Now I realize we had nothing. Did she make you feel alive? Are you happy to see me crying as I wipe the falling tears from my cheek?
So that's how you can use the correct pitch macro for really basic vocal tuning and pitch correction. Again, the most transparent and natural sounding vocal tuning comes from a less is more attitude, just tuning up certain notes that need it and leaving everything else alone. Later on in this course, I will dive into some deeper topics with some vocal recordings that definitely need some help, and we'll cover all of the editing tools for some more surgical vocal tuning and pitch correction.